So it's over 12, so I'll start. Okay, my name is Richard, and I am a coach and meditation teacher at Bring Your Soul, and this is my 10th consecutive Facebook Live out of 21. And yes, so if you're here listening, and if you want, you can comment and say hi, so I know you're here. So yesterday I was talking a bit about my own struggles, and something that came up was like dependency. You're dependent on other people's opinions, and you know, I've had that in my life. So I was going to expand a little bit more of that. So talking about being dependent, and also the other side of giving too much, and also what I see as the most beautiful dance of that we can have together is co-creation. How can we create together for the benefit of all? So I'm an empathic person, so I often feel other people's feelings. And what happens is that I can become feeling responsible for other people's feelings. And that makes me sort of give too much, try too much, and trying to change the situation because it's uncomfortable. So I used to work as a personal assistant, and in that caregiving work, it was very hard for me because I'm so empathic, I'm so easily affected by other people's feelings, that I felt an enormous responsibility for how the person I was working for, how that person was feeling, and wanting to find ways of changing that, making them feel better. So what this does, if you're like me in that situation, you drain yourself. You get very drained of your energy, and you don't. And sometimes you might get something back from the person you work with, but most of the time, or many times that I worked with this, I didn't get sort of anything back. So I was only sort of giving, and that sort of drained me. And also in other situations where with friends, or and just in other situations where I felt responsibility for the feeling in the room, or the feelings or the situation of my friends or something. So just trying to change that, trying to make it better, it's very draining. So, but I think that is a strategy for connection. I want to connect, but somehow it doesn't work. And also to belong, to feel connected. But it just doesn't work, really. And then there's the other side, which is dependency, being dependent, being like overly needy. To feel like if I don't get this, I can sort of hardly survive. That's the other way of this. And that I've also been in those situations where I was very needy of, very dependent on other people's opinions, other people's suggestions, other people's way of seeing things, and trying to find. This is where it becomes so strange and wrong, sort of finding myself in their answers, and not feeling that I had the power in myself or the wisdom in myself to make those choices, that I just needed somebody to tell me, do this or do that choice, make this or say this. And sometimes when it's like a natural way, if I don't know anything about a certain area, then of course I need to ask for help, and I can get that help. But if I get dependent on that help, so it's constantly needing that response from that person or that situation or whatever, then that becomes a dependency, and that's very destructive. So it's like needing the approval, but it's the same as the other one. It's wanting to fit in, or wanting to belong, and also wanting to feel safe. So I'm searching for safety in the answers of others, or searching for approval in the way other people see things. That's never going to give me safety. It's never going to give me a sense of belonging. It's in reverse. It's always driving these two here, like giving too much or being too overly dependent. It's always driving, it's always separating. It can never be, it can never work together, because one is here and one is here. It's not sort of equal. It's one above the other, trying to connect but missing the connection. So when you come into these situations, they are very draining. So you can look at your own life, and if you're in situations where you are at work or with friends or with family or wherever there is a connection with other people, you can look at it and see, when you are around these people, do you feel drained, or do you feel empowered and strong, or do you feel like you just want to go home and rest for 3 hours? Do you feel separation or togetherness? Do you have a sense of fear or worry, or do you have a feeling of that you're lacking something? You're lacking something that you need from over here. And do you feel more lonely? Do you feel alone with those people, or in that workplace, or wherever you are? Is there a sense of loneliness even though you're there? If you feel this, then you might be in a situation where you either give too much or you are overly dependent on something. So it's a good way to check. Okay, so what I've found in my life when I've been into these places a lot. So, but what I found is the most beautiful, most giving of all is when you have co-creation. When you can create together with somebody, or in a workplace, or in a relationship or with a friend or whatever, but there is a sense of creating together. And here is one thing, where when you are dependent or when you give too much, there is this sense of responsibility that's you're taking over a responsibility or you're giving away a responsibility. So you're not, there is not a balance. It's very unbalanced. In co-creation, it's balanced because I have responsibility for my own choices and I have a responsibility for my own way of reacting to things, right? And also I have the responsibility to say, yes, this is good for me, or no, this is not good for me, or I need more of this or a little less of this, or could we do this and that, you know? So it's, you always have to be communicating your needs, and also in co-creation you have to be open to be vulnerable and asking for help. But when you get the support, it's not a one-way support. It's an open support that gives you energy, that doesn't drain you of energy. The support you give each other is developing. You develop each other. So I found that when me and Christina are working together, because we are married, we have children, and we're also working together. So we spend a lot of time together. So for us, it's very important. It's very important to be in co-creation and to try to develop co-creation between us so that we don't feel drained or that the balance is off. Of course, it's always sort of like flowing like this. It's never always like this. But when it becomes too much of this, we can always sort of come back and then we express, now I'm feeling a little like this, and you go, you know, back and forth. So it's this balancing act all the time. And when you're in co-creation, like you feel empowered instead of drained. You feel connected. You feel supported. You feel inspired and creative. You feel healthy and alive. And also you feel that everything is possible. Yes, Christina is saying that when working together, it brings the best of us both. So Christina has strengths that I don't have, and I have strength that she doesn't have. And we have different ways of being creative. And when we come together with those qualities and do co-creation, we take projects and things so much further than we would ever be able to do alone. So because some of the things we have done in our lives, I think that, you know, we couldn't have done separately. You know, to be on a road trip to America for 65 days, that's a co-creation thing. That's really, really co-creation. And working together on projects, that's real co-creation. And it's a feeling of togetherness, a feeling of mutual strength and mutual respect. And it becomes harmony and happiness and sort of an abundance feeling. And when you co-create, you also support the other person in both their strength, to develop their strength even more, to develop in the direction they want to go. And also you give support for the things that they find, hard or struggle with. So when co-creation really works, it is fantastic. And when that works on a larger scale, it's really great. So I think that this is co-creation is something that's very important to try to bring into companies, and especially this caregiving and other areas where you need to co-create and work together to support each other. And I find that sometimes this lack of support, there is a lack of support and inspiration. Yes, so I think that was it for today. So yes. So if you have any comments, any questions, anything, if you're watching this video afterwards, please comment or like or share it if you want. And also if you want to see all these Facebook Live sessions in their better quality and their entirety, you can go to our YouTube channel, which is Bring Your Soul. And you can watch them there. Or actually, you can go to our page soon, bringyoursoul.se, to watch them there. And I'm working on separating them also to do guided meditation separately. And that will be available soon. And yes. Okay, so I usually do a guided meditation at the end, so if you want, join me in a few minutes of meditation. And close your eyes and feel your body, feel your breath. Just observe your breathing. Just notice that you are given the gift of your breath. Every breath in and out is a gift. You do not know when it's going to be over. So cultivate a sense of gratitude towards this creative energy, this creative universe that's breathing life into you with every breath. And it doesn't demand anything from you. It just wants to give you life. It's the highest of gifts. And everything in life, everything here on earth, it has a pulse. It has an energy, a vibration. So use your feelings and intuition and naturally connect with the people you meet, with nature, with every situation, and find the co-creation flow. Where are you giving? How are you receiving? How are you inspiring? How do you get inspired? And letting go of all responsibility for other people's feelings. And claiming your own responsibility for your own feelings, your own choices, your own way of contributing to this dance of co-creation. Not blaming anybody, not blaming yourself for anything. So feel the breath. How it effortlessly moves through your lungs. So open up for co-creation today. Tune into the pulse, the energy of life, and co-create. Okay. Move your hands, feel your body in the chair, move your shoulders, maybe your neck, and open your eyes and be here. And Yes, thank you so much for being here. And I've enjoyed this. And make sure, if you want, you can like this and you can share it with friends. And you can comment and you can make requests of what you want me to talk about. And then listen in tomorrow. Okay, have a beautiful day. Bye.